Good morning, gang. David Guppel, Thinker Farmer here. I'm at my first week of work at the Powell Cattle Company. We've got a herd of 105 heifers here from, these are fall calvers from last 2021, so they're a year old. And Alan's just unrolling some hay for them. And basically what we have here is a stockpile. This land was purchased a year ago, and at this point there's really not a whole lot of quality forage left here. We're simply trying to build some fertility here, unrolling some hay before we move them to another paddock. And it's December 7th today, and anyway, Alan's going to finish unrolling the bale over there, and then he and I are going to talk about the farm a little bit. And these are some pretty cool looking young heifers. Like I said, they're a year old. They got a pretty nice frame on them, not real big. Pretty good temperament to them. They're not super docile. They're trained to drive, so you can drive them real well. They're not really tame, in other words. So anyway, yeah, so we're trying to get some manure on the landscape here. And yeah, it's a beautiful December day here. So our current plan with this group of fall 2021 heifers is to go ahead and keep the best, about 4 out of 5 heifers, and either as we're going to plan to do basically more high density grazing at the Powell Cattle Company's different farms here. So the total acreage of the farm is, in terms of pasturable acres, it's 3,000 acres, and we've got over 1,000 head of cattle. And our goal is to essentially, with more rotational grazing, so right now during the growing season and during the off season too, we're not doing daily moves at this point. With some of the herds we may, but in some cases it's every 2 to 3 days. And Alan and I would both love to be doing more moving. There's a lot to work through in terms of logistics. And anyway, let's have a talk here with Alan. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning.
How's it going today?
Well, it's a beautiful December day in the green hills of Missouri. This is North Missouri. We're right in the middle of the state, 5 miles north of Highway 36. The Green Hills region is one of the better grass regions for North Missouri, and we enjoy raising our cattle here.
Would you step over closer to the herd so I can get you and them both in the picture? So tell us kind of the background for kind of really the Powell Cattle Company. I mean, y'all are not new to grass farming.
My family moved into this part of Missouri in the 1830s and 1850s, and we've been involved with cattle pretty much all the generations. I'm the only part of the family that has stayed here on the farm, and I've always enjoyed raising cattle and been involved with the cattle. We've worked with the University of Missouri Cornet Research Farm is just a mile here to the east of us, where Jim Garish got his start, and We got involved with a grazing group called the Green Hills Farm Project back in the 1990s, and I've worked to develop cattle that will make it on grass and hay alone. And we are still working to build our herd that is very viable on grass.
I hear that. So let's see now, Alan, you are 69 right now, or 70?
Yes, yes.
And you've been farming, raising cattle since you were 13.
Well, we've had cattle all my life, yes. We used to run a seed cleaning business where we cleaned grass seeds and soybeans, oats, wheat, and everything for the local farmers. But I've always worked with the cattle, especially since coming back from college. And
what do you enjoy most about farming, Alan? I mean, you've done this a long time, really 6 decades almost now.
Well, I've enjoyed the cattle, the raising of the cattle, and the management of them. I enjoy being out here on the grassland that we have, and just farming under God's clear blue skies is the way I put it. But we're in the transition period in our operation, and we've hired David to be our cattle manager, and my son and his wife are moving back to our county and will become involved. So as I transition out, the new generation's coming on, and we're very excited to have David join our crew and become a part of our farming family.
Well, I'm very excited to be here, Alan, so thank you. What long-term, because I know I've talked to you, you have a lot of vision for your farm long-term, and it's not just your vision, and that's what I like really most about it, is it's really something you want Nathan and Heather and really your whole family to be a part of. What is your long-term dream or goal for your farm? Because you've got several thousand acres of grass here, and most of the land out here is fairly flat in terms of, I mean, there's a lot of row croppers around us. When we're going, I mean, we've got a pond up there, but there's a lot of row croppers around us, and a lot of them would love to pull out the fences and till the land and plant corn and soybeans. And your vision for this farm is to keep it in grass. What else long term is there?
Well, as we learn more about the biology of the grass and the ground and underneath it, why we want to build our soils. We want our ground to be here for the next generation. We want to be able to produce a healthy animal that can be grass finished, that will make a high quality meat product for next several generations. And that's why we've worked to develop these heifers and our whole cattle herd to do it in a low input, grass efficient way.
Yeah, I mean, really all you really give these animals is clean water from a tire tank. You give them a mineral mix, some salt, and you expect them to perform. And I mean, we can look at them now, they're doing pretty well over here.
Yes, these are smaller animal frame than most, but that's what it takes for making it on grass, and they have to develop on grass, breed on grass, and produce calves on the grass. So this farm here has a lot of warm season grass, as you can see. It just came out of CRP. We just bought it last year, and the reason we're feeding a little bit of hay is that's our fertility program. Instead of buying commercial fertilizer, the hay that we're feeding will be turned into the cows will turn it into the fertilizer for the ground.
There you go. Well, Alan, thank you for being on the channel today, And thank you for letting us enjoy this morning moment. And anything you want to add?
I'll just say that these cattle, I got the start of this herd from cattle I bought from Bent Tree, and then we bought some really good grass bulls from David Hall down in West Plains, Missouri, and Doug Peterson, and now we've been developing our own bulls within the herd. So we have a closed herd now.
That is awesome, Alan. Well, thank you for being on the channel, and thank you for hiring me. And I'm looking forward to working here next year and enjoying farming on the grass.
We're excited for the future.
All right, and with that, gang, blessings for the journey, and keep it real.